Good afternoon and welcome to At the Table. This is your host, Kelly Lincoln, coming to you live at lunchtime from my favorite place on the east side when I'm working, the Starbucks at East 87th and Lexington Avenue. Today my show will be all about stuff. Vine and its demise. You know, it's going the way of the Meerkat app. Segment 2 will be talking about the joys of single-room occupancy living, dorm living. For all of you that have ever been in college and lived on campus, dorm living, single-room occupancies. And if you've had a roommate, then it's double-room occupancy. I, for one, am very thankful that, you were listening to At the Table here on netrootsradio.com. For those of you listening on Spreaker.com, this is also will be played as a pod on netrootsradio.com at 3 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific time. So you get a second chance to listen in on this. It's actually a lovely fall day here in New York. It's not as cold as people thought it was going to be. Even though I see people all in their bundled puffy vests and winter wear, it's not quite that cold. I think that the people that bundle up for winter when it's like 50 degrees outside are actually cold. Or they're from the South where they're not used to such cold things. But who knows? Who cares? I have been following the World Series between the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs. I am born in Chicago, a native of Chicago, grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, so when it's not the Giants in the World Series and it's the Cubs in the World Series, I have to root for the Cubs. And right now, it's a 2-0 lead for Cleveland. It's been good baseball. And two teams that, for a total of over 170 years haven't been to a World Series. It's pretty awesome to see these two teams playing each other. It's so remarkable that this brain vacation from all the nonsense that is going on in the world today. You need that leisure time. I know a lot of people complain about how slow baseball is, but the idea behind watching a game is to just chill and relax. It's a chance just to, it's a Zen game in some ways. So just chill, relax, enjoy it. Enjoy that downtime. That you can take a break, people. It is possible to just slow down and sit and to do nothing. Not be on your phone, not be on the television, gaming, whatever, just, It always amazes me when I'm out walking and I see people whose faces are stuck on their phones. Surprised people don't get hit by cars more often than they do. So be aware of what's around you, folks. Sit back and relax and enjoy the leisurely pastime that is baseball. At least at the moment we don't have, jacked up baseball fans going out and beating up, I take that back, we do have violence in baseball, in the parking lots and tailgating and all that stuff, so maybe I shouldn't say anything about that, but, I was an early adopter of Vine, just as I was an early adopter of Meerkat. I loved the Meerkat video live stream app. I loved it. It was great. Except when it wasn't and it dropped your video. And the folks that created Meerkat killed it off really without telling the people that were using it that they were doing so, and that tough shit if our beta didn't save your video. There was only a beta, and so I'm kind of annoyed that when I went to retrieve some video that I had shot a couple of weeks ago of a protest in front of Trump Tower, it wasn't there anymore. And as a user, I was very upset that I was not notified that the beta was ending, that Meerkat was ending. So, screw it, removed it. If you're not supporting it, I don't want it on my phone. And I was also an early adopter of Vine. And I was using Vine. I liked seeing the Vines from my friends. And suddenly I started seeing Vines that were being promoted, heavily promoted and not necessarily revined. And I could no longer see what my friends were doing. So I removed the application. And now it turns out that Twitter is going to be stopping its support of Vine. And in a lot of ways, I'm not really surprised, because when you force people to see videos that aren't from their friends, you can piss a lot of people off. And I found it highly offensive that Vine was telling me what I needed to see. Or, and how many times can you watch a loop? How many times can you watch a loop? How many times can you watch a loop? It got boring. Yeah. So, for all I know, Twitter bought Vine and Periscope and then proceeded to, cannibalize Vine into Periscope. I don't know. It just seems that way to me. But that's usually how it goes. One company buys another one simply to cannibalize the platform. And again, what was Vine other than really, video animated gifting? You can only watch that so many times, and then it gets boring. And I know I'm upsetting people, but I don't care. It's me. And all the hand-wringing right now that's going on over Vine is they're going to tell you when they're shutting the application down. They're letting you save your Vines, your loops. But do you really watch your loops after you've uploaded them? Seriously, do you? When you take a photograph on your phone, do you look at the photograph again? Do you upload it to your photo album and then never look at it again? I prefer printing my photos out because then I can look at them again. Because they're tangible, they're in my hands. I've been experimenting myself with Facebook Live, YouTube Live, an application for my iPad that is a broadcasting app that will it's called TC Studio, that will actually allow me to broadcast in a studio setting, complete with a teleprompter and all sorts of good stuff. So, thinking about how things evolve in preparation, and it does take time, believe it or not, to set up to write a weekly podcast. What are you going to talk about? And in this political season, it's really, really easy to get all caught up in the political nonsense. And today I'm stepping away from that because I need a break, and so do you. And you hear enough of it on television and talk radio and everything. And so I just thought I would just talk about stuff that interests me and, tell you stories maybe about what's going on in my life. And so as I said, I'm sitting here, people watching, and dude standing outside smoking because he can't come into the store, waiting for his girlfriend, or maybe he just didn't want to be in the crush of people that is a coffee shop. I'm actually right now trying to follow a mind map outline, and so I think I'm doing pretty well with it. I use mind maps to help me stay organized. Most people use them just to brainstorm ideas, but and then write it out in a more organized form. But for me, a mind map is organized because it's just the way my brain thinks. It's not linear. It never has been, never will be. And since I got smacked upside the head hard enough to leave me with a real traumatic brain injury, it never will be. It will never be normal for me to exist that way. And I've talked about mind maps before. Mind maps are really good for getting yourself organized. Right now I'm using the note-taking map. I'm using Tony Buzan's tablet application called iMindMap. And what's nice about these is that you've got templates that get you going. You can create your own. My biggest complaint about Mr. Bazan's mind maps, and most mind maps in general that are not hand-drawn, is that if your map doesn't conform to the set of icons that they've got, you're kind of screwed. Like when I'm trying, but that can be adjusted because really the image is just to help you remember and trigger the information on them. I recommend everybody use a mind map when they're just starting to organize stuff. Especially if you write or you're in school. If I had had this when I was in school, I would have been a better student than I was, because it's relevant. It's easier to get the relevant information down on it. And believe this, I've been only talking for 12 minutes, and I feel like I'm running out of stuff to say. So that's kind of like it's kind of like that's always kind of fun. So let's see what I can add here. I feel like running up. Build Me Up Buttercup by the Foundations, which I just love that song. So I'm going to give you some music right now. Enjoy.
Me down again. Baby, try to find a little time and I'll make you happy. I'll be home, I'll be beside the phone waiting for you. Why do you fill me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me down and mess me around, and then worst of all, you never thought, baby, but I love you still, I need you, more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup, don't break my heart. You are my toy, but I could be the boy you adore if you just let me know. Although you are true, I'm attracted to you all the more. Why do I need you so? Baby, try to find a little time and I'll make you happy. I'll be home, I'll be beside the phone waiting for you. Why do you build me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me down and mess me around and then work?
And now, my nod to politics. I give you Stephen Colbert and Christmas in July, and Stephen Colbert and Death, Taxes, Hillary. Enjoy them.
This week, you and me, we will witness history as the RNC crowns their orange manatee. We'll see wacky hats, crazy ties, thousands of white guys, an entire airplane hangar filled with Donald Trump's ex-wives. We'll see Newt, Ron, and Rand, maybe members of the Klan, but no Muslims or Latinos, cause I think they've all been banned. It'll be crazy, you can't deny, it's like Christmas in July. In Cleveland, to the Quicken Loans Arena, it's the finest place you've seen. It can nearly fit each person fired by Carly Fiorina. It's the Q, but let's be clear, Q doesn't stand for queer, though it really doesn't matter, there aren't many of them here. It'll be crazy, you can't deny, it's like Christmas in July. Build a wall around me, dancing delegates. So much more in store, because it's not one night, it's four. So, Reince Priebus will campaign, huffing paint to ease the pain, and Paul Ryan will be crying while Ben Carson juggles brains. Ted Cruz is drinking whiskey, no one's sitting with Chris Christie, and Mitt Romney bungees in to say, does anybody miss me? Jeb is in the bathroom yelling, why? It's like Christmas in July. The party of Lincoln had better start drinking. It's like Christmas in July. Welcome everyone to the DNC, a dimension of sight, sound, and Hillary. You may have felt the burn, but now it's time to learn. She is your destiny. Let's go to the DNC, where they love diversity. From trans-organic farmers to Muslims who eat brie. See big celebrities, earth huggers groping trees. Recumbent bikes and Subarus owned by LGBTs. Death, taxes, and Hillary. A suit he bought at the dollar store. Confetti made of emails staffers shred the night before. Liz Warren dishes wealth. O'Malley is a dilf. Bill's on a leash. Joe smokes hashish. Michelle can plagiarize herself. Death, taxes, and Hillary. In the city of brotherly love, the Wells Fargo Arena will soon be filled with dreamers and people smoking blunts shouting, legalize the greener! cheesecake jamboree, where your mind can be set free. And this power girl will change the world if her donors all agree. Death, taxes, and Hillary. The party of the donkey is about to get funky. Join me, brothers, sisters, or corporate sponsors. However you identify, welcome to your journey. So throw your hands in the air and wave them like you care. You must rejoice, there is no choice, she is your destiny. What? He's the senator of a swing state, guys. She didn't have a choice. It can't be two women, okay? We're not ready. I'm just as disappointed as you are.
And that, of course, was your brief musical interlude for the time for the day. One of the things I see on Twitter a lot is the word treason being thrown around. Treason this, treason that, everything treason, treason, treason. Well, the Constitution deliberately made the definition, what constitutes treason, deliberately narrow. And the reason for that was to prevent the mere words being used to accuse someone of treason. And the U.S. Code, Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 115, which covers treason, sedition, and subversive activities, this defines treason as thus. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death or shall be imprisoned not less than 5 years and fined under this title not less than $10,000 and shall be incapable of holding any office of the United States. I bring that up because when the American Alawaki was killed by a drone, there was a lot of outcry over the fact that he had not been brought to trial, but he had committed treason. He was giving aid and comfort to an enemy. He was levying war against them by encouraging terror attacks. That's treason. That is the definition of treason. That the United States Constitution also I think also so this is even the Constitution, even more narrowly, defines treason thusly. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. Never go to Wikipedia when you're actually looking for something. And again, the Constitution, Article 3, states that treason shall only exist, this is Section 3, Article 3, Section 3 of the United States Constitution states, treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. Of course, here it says no person shall be convicted of treason unless in testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. Goes on to state the Congress shall have the power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. That means that if you as an individual are convicted of treason, that does not, by law, cannot be used as an excuse to deny your heirs their rights as American citizens. Now, yes, this is different from what U.S. Code states, but it is also made clear about what treason is and is not. Now, as far as sedition goes, I think we have, when you're hearing coming out of the mouths of the like of Joe Walsh and others who are advocating the overthrow of the government if they don't get the candidate they want elected, is sedition. And that comes under the United States, the U.S. Code that I read from you earlier in the definition of treason. So Joe Walsh, by his saying, I'm going to get a musket if Hillary's elected, so is advocating, and everyone else that advocates overthrowing, picking up arms if they don't like who gets elected president, they are in violation of U.S. Code, Section 18 U.S. Code, Section 2385, which is advocating the overthrow of the government. Whoever knowingly or willfully advocates, abets, advises, or teaches the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States or the government of any state, territory, district, possession thereof, or the government of any political subdivision therein by force or violence or by the assassination is, it's that is what these malicious patriots, domestic terrorists advocate. We don't like the president tyranny. He's X, Y, or Z. He's doing executive orders because the Congress has abdicated their constitutional duty to make and pass laws. There are people in the United States that don't understand that the Supreme Court is the third branch of government. There are people who believe that the Supreme Court is simply a Senate committee. Think about that, people. We have a shit ton of people committing sedition, advocating for rebellion or insurrection. Yeah, Second Amendment remedies. It's all there, if we don't get what we want, we're gonna riot, rebel, revolt, and wouldn't that just be a dandy thing for those in the international community that don't like us, that does not like America very much, the American governmental system, our Constitution. And yeah, I'm going to say that. I have worked with people. I actually worked with a woman whose father was in the hierarchy of the Thai dictatorships, and the one thing she simply could not abide and she thought was perfectly disgusting was the fact that we were free to express our opinions without retribution. You're free to say whatever you want as long as you agree with me. That is what authoritarians like. And so when you're dealing with stuff like that, I'm urging you to get out and vote on November 8th. It is a right, it is an obligation, it is your civic duty as an American to vote. I'm going to be working one of the polling places as an inspector on November 8th. Monday I'm going to be up. I'm going to be out canvassing for the candidate of my choice. Because I feel it's my civic duty to get people out to the polls, no matter what state they live in. So I'm traveling into it. So I'm going up to Philadelphia tomorrow to join some other people on Monday morning to go and canvass, to urge people to get out and vote. Because this election, unlike any other election, in my opinion, is incredibly important. Through the fracturing of media, corporate media, we no longer see ourselves as a people united, as a melting pot of all nations and creeds and cultures, but my culture, your culture, their culture, this, that, and the other. And when you get into a situation like that, you have this faction playing up the negatives about that faction and this faction, and wedges are driven in between people to keep them from talking and working together. And we need to become one nation, indivisible, undividable. And I, for one, am really thrilled about the Trump candidacy because he is the lance, he is the needle that has lanced the festering, pus-filled boil on the face of America. And now that all the poison is outflowing and it's draining away, we as Americans can now stand up to it, face it down, and not necessarily make it crawl back into its corner where it will begin to refester, but actually completely drain it, cauterize it, so it can't fester again. And I welcome seeing the faces of the people who hate me, because now I know who you are. And that's fine by me. And when the festering boil is completely drained, I'm going to have me some deep-fried frog legs. Little lemon juice, let's make them all nice. Because I tell you, there's nothing better than having deep-fried Mexican frog legs. Because Pepe La Rana, oh, you racists out there, Pepe is a Mexican nickname. I love that. But we need to be more careful in our words when we're talking about the language that people use. And why there are people who are saying, well, why haven't they arrested this person or that from the way he's talking? Because you can't do that during an election year. It's not possible to do that during an election year. Back during the Vietnam era, President LBJ knew that Richard Nixon was interfering in the Paris peace talks. He knew that. He knew he was committing a violation of the Logan Act. He knew, or the Hatch Act, he knew that what he was doing. And yet, because it was happening during an election year, there was nothing he could do about it without destroying the democratic ideals of the United States. Ronald Reagan did the same thing during an election year during the Iran hostage situation. He committed treason when he said, I'll give you a better deal if you just wait until after the election to release the hostages. And now we sort of like have a maybe, maybe not situation with the Republican candidate interfering or having the help of a foreign power interfering with our election. After all, he disputes the fact that Russian trolls or hackers are responsible for accessing the DFC email servers But when you consider the fact that the RNC servers have never been accessed, kind of makes you wonder there, you know? Really kind of makes you wonder there, you know? And so we have to look more towards the fact that politics has never been a clean game. And for all the special snowflakes on both sides who don't quite understand that, they need to learn about politics. You have to speak out of both sides of your mouth. You have to tell people what they want to hear. Same thing in business, in life. You have to tell when you're on the selling floor, if you're in sales, you have to tell that customer what they want to hear about that product, that it's the best thing ever, that with that particular product you're going to get the man or woman you want, or your life is going to be more brilliant. Look at all the commercials. Everything, well, you used to be able to say with the commercial that everything is just perfect. Your life will become absolutely perfect. The man of your dreams, the woman of your dreams, you this, that, and the other. Everything will become perfect when you buy this product. I'm in New York. I don't see a lot of national ads anymore because the cable companies are too busy trying to get you to switch over to them. And you got Paul, the AT&T scab, who's now working for Sprint, got a buyout, which is why you're seeing an awful lot of his ads on television because he ain't getting paid shit for those. He ain't getting no residuals on that. The buyout. Ha 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 ha. And you just have to. I'm going to, there's a lot of blame about us baby boomers being the cause of all your problems and this, that, and the other, but I can say yes and no, because we done the best we could. We're trying to fix it. But you also have to understand is that you can't whine about it. You too have to get in there and actually get outside and work. And go meet people face to face. Because by human interaction is how you make the change. You can sign all the petitions you want, do all the retweets, this, that, and the other, but if you're not working face to face, looking somebody in the face and actually seeing them and listening, actually hearing what they're saying, you might be able to find a middle ground. Maybe not. You never know. But that takes a lot of work. That takes you being able to tear yourself away from your book, your laptop, your television, your phone, your tablet, whatever it is, to get out and talk to people. You'd be surprised at what you can learn from talking with people. Even those you don't politically agree with, you might find there might be a common ground in some other area. Or you might find that person whose candidate you don't like, but they're supporting that there's a common ground. And they just think their candidate is better, capable of dealing with it. Maybe not, you don't know. But you don't know until you actually sit down and talk with them face to face, because you need to hear you need the body language to help understand what they're communicating. That's why flame wars on the internet are so fractious, because you read into it what you want to read into it. You read the Pentagon Papers, you read, the Nixon tapes. You read it the way you want to read it. You don't listen to them, so you don't hear Nixon himself talking about it. Just like if you're looking at the WikiLeaks emails, you're seeing what you want to see in that. You're not seeing a context. You're not looking to see if they have been doctored, counterfeited. If people see a photo, they're always quick to see if it's photoshopped or not. Why don't you do the same thing with text documents? Because those too are easy to edit, to dump, to learn how to read an email header. It's amazing what you can learn from the email header. And the email headers in a lot of these so-called Clinton emails show that they have been forged, faked. And yet you have WikiLeaks saying, we're all for transparency, but let me explain something to you. After the WikiLeaks dump, where Assange just wanted everything dumped into the wild, And the people working for him said, that's not really a good idea. You're going to get people killed. And he went, I don't care. What the people who worked at WikiLeaks did is they destroyed the platform itself. WikiLeaks is now only Julian Assange. And he threw Edward Snowden under the bus. He threw Chelsea Manning under the bus. And he and Glenn Greenwald nearly threw Glenn Greenwald's partner under the bus in regards to the NSA leaks. Now, I don't have any problems with the whistleblowing on the NSA surveillance of America. That's fine. But when he informed the government of China, that they were tapping into their internet connection, that became espionage. That's what the uproar is about, not about the whistleblowing on the NSA surveilling Americans. But the fact that he also leaked more than that. And is it any, and I find it, and I just find it really amazing that Russia gave him safe harbor when he could have just gone into an embassy in safe harbor, just as Julian Assange did. But no, Assange talked him into going to Russia and seeking asylum in Russia. And what can I say? That's how it works, kiddies. You might be living okay and fine, but the minute you become, your usefulness is over, you're gone. So, let's see, what was I going to do here? Oh, I know. I'm going to play some more music that I have here. What we got here? What do I got here? Do I have anything I can... I'm going to give you some Prince and George Clinton here. And then maybe close out with my super short theme song. And maybe replay Build Me a Buttercup because I really like that. So here we're going to start out with Prince and George Clinton and We Can Funk. I admire, solo talk show hosts who blither on for an hour. They've got nothing better than me.
I could play with your mind, but you'd probably say that I was a lie. So I won't waste your time. I'm scared. There's this energy between us. Let's just go somewhere. We can funk.
So anyway, I was going to talk about single room SRO living, dorm living. I live in an SRO. It's awesome. It's fun. Wide range of colorful senior citizens, including a guy who went very, very spry man. And the other day I went into the kitchen, fixed myself coffee, and he was there with a physical therapist in a cane, looking like he was like, just decrepit and just broken and just couldn't move and everything. And I was doing him physical therapy exercises, and then had him, for his leg, and he had a cane, and walked him over to the kitchen, counter to like do leg lifts, and he couldn't bend his knee up and everything, and he was just, in so much agony and pain and could barely walk. Lo and behold, about a couple of hours later, he comes bouncing out of his room, just without the cane. He's got the cane, but he's walking around like nothing's wrong with his foot and with his leg or anything else. And this morning, I see him just walking out the door with a great big stuffed animal and no cane. I should also say that he's a lovely man, but he is slowly losing it. And I taught him how to use a computer. And so now he came up to me and told me that they had a 100 million computers that he was controlling, and just on. And the man is just an amazing person. Like I said, lovely guy. I mean, there's some great people on the floor, but I have another neighbor who's just really incensed that other people on our floor dare to come into the kitchen and hang out in the shared kitchen. And yet he thinks that we should all mind our own business. But you're in my kitchen. How dare you be in my kitchen? And, it's just really, really, unfortunate, sad. You're listening to that at the table here on netrootsradio.com and Spreaker.com. I want to give a shout out to the good people that let me do this at netrootsradio.com, our program director, Justice, who's awesome human being, our general manager, Wink, and Bricolio, and Yuri Hu, and Sunscreen. I almost called him Silkscreen. Sunscreen, and everybody who keeps us going up, and keeps us honest or dishonest, as the case may be. And I'm going to go back to talk more about single-room occupancy living. It's like living in a dormitory. You all remember living in dorms if you've been to college. So you've got this great big mix of people, and, we have our resident advisors, and the dude doing the complaining about people hanging out in the kitchen all day and reading, and, is one of our resident advisors, floor advisors. Which I guess having him complain about somebody hanging out in the kitchen is a lot better than the RA who decided to walk around the floor with the floor, all the suites with a baseball bat. What's that all about, the only bad thing is, when you want to raid the kitchen at night, you have to raid your own pantry and then walk into the kitchen doing anything. You can't do that like we did. You can't rat think anybody, because everybody locks their own rooms, so it's kind of hard to do that. But got some awesome cooks on the floor. It's just a lot of fun, more or less. When you come out of your room, you come out of hiding and hibernation, and go outside and look at the people hanging out and going, I live with these people, they're fun, and, it's just the way it goes, and it's just the way it goes, and all I can say is, go, Cubby! It's just, and it's mysterious and ooky, and from time to time, whenever I hear an ambulance siren, I can almost guarantee it's going to stop in front of the building and take somebody who lives there to the hospital, or even worse, we've had instances of people who have passed away and no one has noticed until you start smelling something coming from their room, and then you're just kind of like, oh dear God, I think I need to make sure people check in on me more often than they do. So I'm going to tell y'all to following this rebroadcast on netrootsradio.com. Stay tuned for Katie Speaks with Katie Klaubish on Netroots Radio. And I'm going to leave you with a Prince and the Revolution. Well, I think I want Build Me Up Buttercup again because it's just much more fun. Happy Halloween, everybody.
But you're late, I wait around and then I run to the door, I can't take anymore. It's not you, you let me down again. Baby, baby, try to find a little time and I'll make you happy. I'll be home, I'll be beside the phone waiting for you. Why do you build me up? And mess me around, and then worst of all, you never thought, baby, when you say you will. But I love you still, I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup, don't break my heart. You are my toy, but I could be the boy you adore. If you just let me know. Although you are true, I'm attracted to you all the more. Why do I need you so?